Okay, so let's just check to make sure this is actually working here. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me okay, if my levels seem okay. First of all, we're going to wait a minute here, let everybody come in, but I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here with me. We're going to hang out. We're going to be talking about some simple soloing tactics today that you can do. We're going to start off with 3 notes, and then we're going to start expanding from there and kind of show you how you could approach something like this. Even if you've never played a solo before, it's actually quite fun. And then if you stay until the end of this session, I'm actually going to give you a free guitar course. It's a guitar course of mine called Unlocking the Fretboard Connection. It's a very popular guitar course, and you're just going to get a link and get that for free. All you got to do is just stick around, learn something, have some fun. So anyway, let's see who we've got in here. We've got Michael is here. We've got David. We've got Dave. We've got John, William. Jason is here. Jennifer is here. This is cool. So, again, we're just going to let people come in, and I'm going to let you know what's going on. My name is Steve Stine from the GuitarZoom Academy, and I'm really excited. Hopefully you had a good week, and we're just going to have some fun here and talk about guitar playing. And so the first thing we're going to do is let's just kind of talk about what we're going to be doing today as everybody comes in here. And if you have any questions, there'll be a chat on the side, and there'll be somebody there that kind of answer your questions as we go through this thing, try and help you as much as we can. What I want to do today is I want to get you excited, get you motivated about playing, and give you some ideas of how soloing works. If maybe you're new to soloing, if you've never really thought about these things before, or maybe you've been soloing for a little while, but you're still kind of missing the bigger picture, there's some things here that we're going to do that will be really fun. Along the way, we're going to be talking a little bit about the GuitarZoom Academy, what it is, how it can help you. If you've never heard of the GuitarZoom Academy before, it's this amazing thing that we've built at GuitarZoom that we work together hand in hand on a daily basis if you needed. We talk to each other, we see each other, we assess your playing. You know, we get together, we talk about, build you a game plan, keep you on your game plan, get you to what your goals are, all that kind of stuff. It's really amazing. So, again, welcome, and thank you for being here. It looks like we've got Jeff in here now. We've got Tom in here now, which is cool. Guys, just thank you, everybody, for being here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about how soloing works, and we're going to start with very minimal information and kind of build you up. And if you've got any questions, you can ask them. There'll be somebody available to chat with you. I'm not sure if Luca is there or Manny is there. I'm not sure who's doing the chat today, but there'll be somebody there to help you with that. So again, let's go ahead and get started here. And finally, again, if you weren't here before, if you wait until the very end of our session today, you're going to get a link that allows you to, for free, download Unlock the Fretboard Connection. It's a guitar course of mine, sold very, very well over the years. It's a really great guitar course, and it's yours. Okay, nothing attached. You just download it or watch it, and there'll be a link at the very end that you can click on. Okay, so let's start off by just talking a little bit about what we need to get started. In order to solo over a chord in a key, the first thing we need to know is what key are we in? Well, for us, we're going to be talking about soloing over a minor chord, which means really almost anything that's in blues, you'd be able to do what we're going to talk about. Rock, you're going to do what we talk about, okay? Hard rock, metal, all that kind of stuff, you'd be able to do what we're talking about. And of course, songs that are in minor keys, this would work as well. Now, we can learn to do this over major keys. We can get far more specific over different styles of music. There's lots of really amazing things that we can do, but let's just start with something to get us going. So what I want you to know is, even though you might not know some of this information right now, these are things that I would give consideration to studying in the future. One thing is the names of the notes on your 6th string. Because if somebody says, oh, we're going to be in the key of A minor, you have to know where to go, or D minor, or B flat minor. You've got to be able to find that. And our trick today is going to be building off of the 6th string. So I don't want to take all of our valuable time and be focusing on the notes of the 6th string. I just want you to know that that's something that you'd want to do, is memorize those notes. The next thing that would benefit you is if you knew your 6th string bar chords, namely your minor bar chord. You don't have to, though, but let's say we said, okay, we're going to solo in the key of A minor. This song is in the key of A minor. So if I knew that if I went to the 5th fret here, this note right here on the 6th string is A, and it is. This string's an E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A. So at the 5th fret is A. And again, if you don't know that, it's okay. It's something that you can learn. But just take my word for it because I'm not lying to you. So A is at the 5th fret of the 6th string. Now, if you know your bar chords, you know you've got an A minor bar chord sitting right there. Right here. And that's where we're going to go to create the beginnings of our solo, this 3-note solo that we're going to be talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you 3 notes to work with right now, and we're going to talk about how to make music with it, and then I'm actually going to give you a backing track as well, the one I'm going to use in our lesson today. Okay? So let's start by doing this. Okay, we're at the 5th fret. This is A. We've decided that this song we're jamming over, this backing track, whatever it is, we're in the key of A minor. Okay, and again, if you don't know what all that means, it's okay. You can learn all of that stuff. It's easier than you think it is. So we're in the key of A minor. So we've gone to the 5th fret of the 6th string, and maybe we know where our bar chord is right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the 4th string. So remember, if we're looking at our bar chord right here, what I want you to see is where your pinky is right here on the 7th fret. So if A is at the 5th fret, we're going to drop down to the 7th fret of the 4th string right here. That's where we're going to start our journey, is right there. Okay? Now what I want you to understand is that if you were in the key of G minor and you knew where G was right here, you're going to go down 2 strings and go over 2 frets, and that's where we're going to start. If you were in the key of F sharp, we're going to go down 2 strings, move over 2 frets, and that's where we're going to start. So visually, it's always the same thing. If we can find the key or the note we want on the 6th string, we're going to move down 2 strings and move over 2 frets. That's where we're going to start. So if we're in A and we move down 2 strings and move over 2 frets to this note is an A. It's not coincidence. This is how this works. So we've got A, we're going to move over to that A right here. Now these are the 3 notes we're going to start with, friends. We're going to start with this note, and this note. So we're playing 7 on the 4th string, we're playing 5 on the 3rd string, and we're playing 7 on the 3rd string as well. So we're playing 7, 5, 7. Okay, it looks like Kevin is showing up. Hey Kevin, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. So again, at the end of the class, and when we're done with this session, there's going to be a link for you to download an entire guitar course of mine, Unlocking the Fretboard. It's yours for free just for hanging out with me today, okay? Along the way, we're going to be talking a little bit about the GuitarZoom Academy, okay? The Academy is something new that we've got here at GuitarZoom, where we work with students hand in hand in Zoom on a daily basis. As often as you need us, we're meeting, we're getting you organized, get you a game plan, figure out what your goals are, figure out what your struggles are, and we work together to get you where you're going, okay? It's not a guitar lesson or, it's not working on your own. It's always working together, okay? It's a really great thing. I always think of it like an ecosystem that you live in for X amount of time where we're just working together all the time, as much as you need. Anytime you got something on your mind, we get together, we talk about it. Okay, so here's my A, and then I'm going to move down 2 strings, move over 2 frets. Here's the A I'm looking for right there. And the other 2 notes right here. So if you've got your guitar handy, what I want you to do is I want you to think about these 3 notes. And it's okay if, this is new to you or you're not, very good at picking and all those things. It's all fine. But here's some things I want you to think about is as guitar players, when we want to learn how to solo, we start learning things like the notes on our fretboard. And we learn how to play scale shapes. Maybe they're what we call pentatonic. Maybe they're what we call diatonic. And again, if you don't know this stuff, it's okay. It's all learnable, okay? None of it has to be as bad as it might seem. But the point is even though we're learning all these things, we're not always thinking about things in terms of music and musicality and creativity. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Isn't so much how many notes you can play or how many positions you can play on the guitar, but how you could just take 2 or 3 or 4 notes and make music with that sounds nice. Now, obviously, as we learn more and we develop more skills and all those things, we can do more and more things. But let's just start with these 3 notes right here. Now, the first thing I want you to think about when you're starting to learn and think about soloing and improvisation and what that is, okay, is dynamics. Loud and soft. And you can create loud and soft textures by picking harder or picking softer, changing your volume on your guitar, lower your volume down, bring your volume up. Always remember, the volume on the guitar isn't like your car stereo volume. It doesn't work that way. It's almost like a filter. If I turn my volume all the way up, you can hear distortion. If I turn my volume way back and I pick a little softer, I get a lot less distortion. The volume's down a little bit too, but there's a lot less distortion, and I can use my picking attack, the hardness or softness of the picking, and my volume. Roll that back a little bit. So be aware of that. It's way more powerful than you might realize in learning how to play with dynamics, learning to play hard and soft, loud and soft. Okay? You can create accents in different places. Okay. There's lots of different things we can do with dynamics. The second thing I want you to think about is repetition. Okay? Repetition, you could stay on the same note or you could combine two strings or two notes. In a myriad of different ways, you could create different groupings of notes. It doesn't always have to be different notes. You might play the same note over and over and over, or two different notes, and go bum 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 bum. There's lots of different things that you can do. So the first step is you start thinking about dynamics. The second step is start thinking about collections or repetition of notes, be it one note, two notes, whatever it might be. Maybe I create a pattern that uses all three notes. Okay? Once you start thinking about that repetition, what we have to start doing is interjecting pauses or breaks. And there's two ways we can do that. We can stay on a note and just stay there, or we can literally stop playing. When we do this, we create what's called a phrase. A phrase, and that's really important, is if we just do this the whole time, where the dynamic is exactly the same and we're just playing the whole time, it gets really, really annoying, not only for you as the player, but for whoever's trying to listen to you. That's why we create ebb and flow. We create dynamics when we play. We create different kinds of repetition. But the key to the repetition is if we stop playing or pause, it creates space. Let me show you what I mean. If I do this, I'm creating a pause. I'm not stopping, but I'm pausing on a note and letting that note ring out. What's even more dynamic is to stop playing. See, I can create different phrases. So now I'm kind of mixing and matching the directions I'm going, the repetition that I'm using, and I'm pausing or stopping. Okay? Now I'm going to kind of roll through these, but I want you to understand, even though some of this might seem overwhelming, you're like, wow, I've never thought about these things before, or maybe I've done these before, but I still can't create music. Again, I want to remind you, somewhere on the chat over there or something, there's going to be a button that you can click where what you can do is set up a consult You leave your credit card at home. You don't even need it, okay? You set up a consult and you have a conversation about the Academy and how it can help you in learning this stuff, learning how to actually do this stuff, okay? You'll set up a consult with me or one of my other instructors in the Academy, whatever it is, and we'll just have a conversation and see, how this works and whether or not it's something that can help you, okay? So we've got dynamics. We've got repetition, motion, movement, all of those things. And then we've got phrases by pausing or stopping. So now what I want to do is I want to play a little bit of a track for you here. Hopefully this isn't too loud for you. Now, this might not be your style of music or anything like that, but what I want you to think about is, as I listen to this now, I know this is an A minor because I chose it to give to you, okay? So being an A minor, what I want to think about is the rhythm or the beat that I hear as I listen to this. So, in the beginning stages when I'm learning how to do this, I've got these 3 notes. These are my rhythm choices. Boom, bum, 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 bum. Now, I don't have to play all of these. I just have to play some of these. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see how that sounds as I start playing along with this, okay? Just kind of playing that rhythm. So we're on the board using some dynamics, using some repetition, using those pauses or those stops. And now we're using this. That's what we're playing. Now, if you're feeling spicy and you think you could do this, what you do is you level up. So if this is where we are, and it doesn't matter what we call this. We might call this a quarter note. We might call it an eighth note. Let's not worry about that. Let's just think this. But what I could do is go twice this fast. So in my mind, I'm thinking bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum. I don't have to do it a lot, and obviously to move to this speed requires a little bit more technique, right? So watch what happens. I'm going to play both of these rhythms. Watch what happens. So those are all options for me. So we've got dynamics. We've got repetition and movement. We've got pauses or stopping. Stop playing, which is really important. You don't want to play the whole time. Even if that note's ringing out, you want to literally stop the strings from vibrating to create a complete phrase that ends so I can create a new phrase. Now, this stuff takes time, but I just want to show you the fun you can have, not just worrying about all of these scales and positions and things. Yeah, we want to learn that stuff too. But we need to start learning to think about music on a musical level. Okay? So remember, if you have any questions, you can ask questions over in the chat, and one of my guys is going to be talking to you about all this stuff. If you're interested in learning more about how the Academy works, all you got to do is set up a call. We'll just talk about it. We'll talk about what we can do to help you get to your goals. So if there's questions that you have right now about the things I'm talking about, that's exactly what we'd be talking about. You'd ask the question, we'd talk about it. You see? That's how this works. It's really cool. So let's keep going. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, which is a little bit of a level up, but it's really important because you're going to notice how musical things begin to sound. They're what I refer to as vocal tools. Vocal tools. For me, things like vibrato or a bend or a slide. Those kinds of things really start making what you're playing sound more real. It's not just the movement. That's the early steps. That's what we talked about. But as you start getting more into this, learning how to bend, learning how to craft phrases, and then end with vocal tools like a singer would. You end with a vibrato, or you end with a bend, or a slide, or whatever it is that you're doing in there. And so what I like to remind people is there's a significant difference between having been introduced to something, having experienced something, versus owning it, having absolute control over it. So the one thing I want you to be aware of is, in my philosophy anyway, it isn't about quantity, it's about quality. It's not how many scales you know or how many modes you know or how much theory you know. That can all be beneficial, there's no doubt about it. If it's the right thing at the right time, if it's benefiting where you are in your journey to get you to the next place. But just because you know a bunch of theory or you know a bunch of scales does not mean that you're musical. They're not the same thing. Just because I own $10,000 worth of tools from Home Depot doesn't mean I know how to build a house. It's a different kind of thing. So the trick is we've got to learn how to extract music from the things that we do know. And in the beginning stages, it sounds less musical. As we get better, we start understanding more of how to make that music. And for me, vocal tools are things that get us there. Okay, so now if I take this same track here, start over. So the trick is with just 3 notes, I can start learning how to craft some dynamics, some repetition, put pauses or breaks in to make them feel like phrases. And then I start using these vocal tools. Now, if you do know a little bit more about your scale, you could maybe move to doing 4 notes, right? Or whatever. My point is that what I'm not doing is this. And I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that as a practice. There's not. But that's not making music, okay? So just because you have more strings or more frets or whatever it might be, doesn't mean that you're making better music. It can mean that at some point, but you've got to learn how to get in there and craft something that actually works. So the easiest way to start doing this is just take baby steps. To take 1 or 2 or 3 notes and just start learning how to start changing the way that you think about this stuff. So what I used to like to do with my students is I would have them just take a piece of paper and write down things like dynamics, stop playing, create phrases, don't make all your phrases the same size, right? Don't make all your patterns the same. You know, whatever it might be. Just write down thoughts that you've got in your head. So when you're trying to do this, you look at that piece of paper and go, oh crap, I got to stop playing. Like, I can't just play the whole time. Or, man, it sounds like I'm just playing the same pattern over and over and over, right? Or use vocal tools, or write down the vocal tools. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, slides, vibrato. We're talking about bends and slides and vibrato right now. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I've done a slide before, but I don't really know how to use it. That's what I'm saying, is that's the difference between, you know, having experienced something or having, you know, watched something, and ownership, control. Control is manipulation. You can do it any way you want. I always think about players like David Gilmour or Zach Wilde or somebody like that. You might love them, you might not. It doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you hear them, you know exactly who they are, and you can feel it. Like, they mean it when they play. When Zach Wilde does a bend or something or does a vibrato, he means it. You might like it, you may not like it. That's your prerogative. But he's playing with confidence. He's playing with control. David Gilmour does the same thing, right? Joe Bonamassa does the same thing. Doesn't matter who you like, you're going to identify that. They're not playing with fear. They're playing with confidence. And confidence doesn't just come from being able to move around. It doesn't matter where you go on the guitar. Once you get there, you've still got to figure out how to make music. Okay? So this is the kind of the restructure of the way that you think about what you're doing. Like in the academy, the first thing that we do is we've got to figure out who you are, right? What makes William different from Christopher? You need your own game plan, your own customized plan of attack of where you are, what you're struggling with, what you're missing, and where you need to go. What are you interested in doing? And what do we need to do to build this logical plan of attack to get you there? That way your practice becomes optimal. You're not just noodling or just trying different things because this guy told you to do this and you watched this video and it said to do this. You're doing what you need, to get where you need to go. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is making sure that we have structure and accountability to get you there. Getting assessments of your playing, not being fearful. Play for me, right? Richard, I know you're out there. I see you, okay? You play for me. Show me what you're doing. Not because I'm judging you, but because I want to see what you're doing. I want to help you. I want to tell you what it is that you're doing right, and I want to tell you what it is that you could do better. So let's have these conversations and actually get you where you want to go. Let's stop spinning our wheels and screwing around for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years and just get you where you want to go. Really do this. Which brings me to the third part of the academy, which is dynamic learning, interacting. The academy is structured so we are spending time together. There's 8 instructors in here, and you work with all of us, literally on a daily basis. What do you have available for time? We know what your practice routine is. We know what your plan is. We can see it. We log all this stuff. We know how your practice is going. We set you up with a practice log so we can see how things are going for you. And then we help you by having conversations, by assessing your playing, right? All of those kind of things. There's so many things that we can do to get you on track and get you where you want to go. So I'm just telling you, if that's something that you might be interested in, all you got to do is just book a call and jump on and we can talk about what this looks like. That's it. It's super easy. You don't have to buy anything. Just have a conversation and see if it's something that actually fits you. And if it does, we'll get you going. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit in understanding how to create a solo, which is single notes, but you're thinking about it in a musical context of dynamics, of phrasing, right? Musical tools, vocal tools, things like that. Not just scales, not just theory. Don't get me wrong, that stuff is very beneficial. And if we do all of these things, we do some theory, we do some technique, we do some scale stuff, we do some fretboard stuff, we work on musical stuff. We do all of these things to start building you into this more holistic player where you're seeing and feeling the bigger picture. You're feeling the forward motion, you're getting excited, and you want to keep going. So hopefully this has done that for you, okay? Now again, this track I'm going to send you, you're going to have this too. Now, if I'm ready, I could add a note or two around this and start trying to do the same thing. What I don't want to do is fall back into the scale mentality where I'm just playing scales up and down. I got to keep thinking about this. So let me stay in that realm of thought, but I'm going to start using a little bit more of what we call the pentatonic scale. I'm not going to get all crazy and fancy. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. See, they just one thing builds onto another thing and builds onto another thing. And you learn how to control your thoughts so you're not just playing a scale or just playing really fast or playing really slow. I mean, you start learning how to think about music on a musical level. So anyway, I hope this helped you in trying to get yourself a little bit organized. What I want to do is make sure that that link is available so you can download that Ultimate Fretboard Connection guitar course. So that's going to be over in the chat. Okay, so be sure that you look for that and you download that. It's not going to cost you anything. Okay. But the other thing I'm asking you to do is just please have a look at the Guitar Zoom Academy. Click on the link, check it out, see if it's something that might help you. If you've been struggling with guitar playing for a long time and you're just you feel like you're spinning your wheels or you're not really getting anywhere, the point of the Academy is we're working together. We're literally working together, okay? You get to know me by first name, I get to know you by first name, everybody in here gets to know you, and we're all working with you crafting where you need to go so we can see some success in your playing, you know? So anyway, thank you so much for your time. Take care. Remember, there's two things. There's this track and there's the course. Those are the two things that you're going to get. All you got to do is click on the link and grab those. And the other thing is check out the Academy and see if that's something that might be of benefit for you too. I'd love to work with you. All right? So take care. God bless and stay positive and keep practicing and hope to have a conversation with you about the Academy, all right? Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate all of your time, and I'm just always amazed that people take time out to hang out, and I'm very thankful for that, all right? Talk to you soon.